I do have to tell you that everybody that comes to our farm gets a Hostess Twinkie because it has cottonseed oil in it.
Oh, a lot of people probably don't realize what cottonseed oil is used for.
They don't. And in part of my PowerPoint presentation, I talk about the many uses of seed. Yeah. And so I said, I'm going to give you a product you'll never forget contains cottonseed, and I'll give them a Twinkie, and they love it. So, yeah, it's pretty...
You need to go to your neighbor and dairy and give them a glass of milk and go with it.
That's right. That's right.
Hello, I'm Zippy Duvall, and I'm president of Your American Farm Bureau, and I'm host of the Farmside Chat, and I'm just proud to be with you today. I hope life is wonderful and you're being blessed today. And today we're going to have fun talking about agriculture. We're also going to talk a little bit about the terrible drought that's around our country, some ag education, ag tourism, and we might end up talking about what we're going to do on the 4th of July while we're here today. But all of you know that I enjoy going around the country meeting farmers or talking to them on the phone or on Zoom about their operations and seeing how the issues face them and how they're trying to survive and be sustainable for the future. And today I have Nancy Caywood with us. She's from Casa Grande, Arizona.
Yes, Casa
Grande, Arizona, and a 4th generation farmer in cotton out there. She's got a beautiful scene behind her there with all that cotton. And there's a lot of cotton here in Georgia too, where I come from. And so I'm not a stranger to cotton. I don't grow it myself, but I've got a lot of good friends that do. So welcome to the show. And I'd love for you to tell our audience a little bit about your family history, the 4 generations, and what brought y'all to that area of the country.
Sure. My granddad came to this part of the country in 1930 from Odessa, Texas. And they were facing drought back then. And so when he heard that Casa Grande had a new water source, he decided that he would move out here. His whole family did. And they bought land within the San Carlos irrigation district. And so our farm was purchased in about 1930. Lots of good stories, lots of good memories on it. And he gifted the farm to my parents in the 60s. And then my dad's cousin was farming it because he was farming out east of Casa Grande. And eventually my son took over the lease. So we're 5 generations.
Wow, 5 generations. That's pretty awesome. So he left Texas because of the drought, but now you're in an extreme drought in that area now. Even though you have those water rights, I know there's still possible restrictions. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The restrictions, we're in the San Carlos irrigation district, and our dam has no water. It is dry. It's capable of holding 1 million acre feet of water. To you right now, it's got 157 acre feet. And we're not allowed to put in a well. And we do have to pay for 2 acre feet of water, whether or not we receive it, to help pay for maintenance on the canals, as well as pay back the cost of the dam when they built it.
Well, Nancy, you told me a little bit about the history of how you come to your farm, and drought drove you there, and now you're in a drought. Tell me, and you've talked about the cutback program that goes along with the water rights that you have there. Tell us the current situation at your farm and of moisture, and how do your crops look?
Okay, starting back in 1993, the Coolidge Dam overspilled its spillways. Since that time, there's not been enough snow and rain to replenish the lake behind it. And so we started into this drought situation. And my grandfather probably suffered from droughts, but not mega droughts like we're suffering from. And so we came to the realization that we have to pay for 2 acre feet of water, whether or not it's received, and it is attached to our taxes. So we needed to get really creative on our farming so we can keep our land. So we call it the home place. And my son has leased land in other areas around us that has different water sources to help pay for water and taxes on this farm. We can't transfer it, but we can certainly grow it on other farms. And That's iffish because one of the farms gets Central Arizona Project water, which is Colorado River water. And now Tier 1 has gone into effect and we're getting cut back on that water as well. So, and he's, bound in leases and we may be cut back on that water. And then the other farm that he's leasing has been sold for housing developments.
Wow.
And
So have you recently received a small portion of rain?
We just did. Yeah, last year we get this allocation letter telling us how much water we have. And last year it was less than 1/3 of an acre foot. And cotton takes 4 acre feet of water to grow and alfalfa 7 to 9. And by March we had received no rain. And so our district literally cut our ditches off. So we had no water coming to us whatsoever. And we dried up, but our alfalfa made a comeback on July 22nd of last year, my son's birthday. The best present he could ever get was 5 inches of rain over the next few days. And so he got the rain and it greened up a bit. Then it rained a bit in August. And then there was enough water behind the dam to start releasing it again. This year we're in the same situation. The canals are completely shut down and we have no water available to us. They are predicting a more moist summer storms this year. And, you just have to hang on to that hope. It's optimism. It's going to rain. It really is. And yesterday, just hearing that thunder and, seeing the rain out, my greasewood tree in my backyard smells so good, like the desert after a rainstorm. It just makes you filled with joy. We did plant a little bit of cotton for the tours. And people ask me what it is. And I said, it's our field of optimism. We're optimistic that we're going to be able to water it through.
Well, farmers are some of the most optimistic people. And people don't really understand, there are farmers across this country that have to borrow millions of dollars to buy the crops, buy the seed, prepare the soil, and be able to fertilize it and get it in the ground. And then we sit back and look to see what God sends us to grow that crop. And whether it be in snow melt or whether it be natural rainfall, we're all dependent on that moisture and how valuable that resource is to us as farmers and as human beings. So thank you for giving us an update on the drought out there. We hope that you do have a more moist fall or late summer, that you can have a good crop to harvest.
Thank you. We do spend a lot of money leveling our fields so that we're practicing the best water conservation that we can practice, and just hoping that the rain comes.
So your irrigation is flood irrigation?
Yes, the water behind our dam is, by the time it reaches us, because it has to go down dirt lined canals. There is a lining project going on, but we won't see it probably for 10 years. But the water that we get is very, very silty. And so you can't run it through drips or sprinklers. So we have to flood irrigate. So we have gone through the government programs, EQIP, PL 566 to level our fields. And so they're dead level from side to side with a slight slope from the irrigation ditch to the end of the field. And we're practicing the best water conservation we can do.
Wow. When I hear from the eastern side of the country, people talk about their water rights and water wars and the cost of water. I mean, that's just beyond what I can think of as a farmer, because we don't have to experience that on our side of the country. It may be coming in our future, but we don't have to experience that over here. And that is just another challenge in front of agriculture in your area and for your farm. I see that that you used to work at the University of California Desert Research and Extension Center. Tell us a little bit about that career that you had there.
Sure. Let me back it up just a bit and tell you that I was a teacher. I taught first and second grades in the Casa Grande School District. And then I would ask my students where their food and fiber comes from, and they would tell me the grocery store. Chocolate milk does come from brown cows. And I decided, you know what, with my agriculture background, I need to do something. So I went back and got a master's degree from the University of Arizona and started a program at the University of Arizona Maricopa Ag Center on ag literacy, and it was named Farm Field Adventures. Well, eventually I got offered to apply for this job at the University of California. And so I went over there and there was nothing in place. And so I lived and worked on a research farm. We came up with a mission that we would come up with this Farm Smart program. We named it Farm Smart, and the mission was to nurture an awareness about natural and renewable natural resources so they can be conserved, managed, and available for future generations. The first year we saw 6,500 kids, and we had a cornfield to show to everyone, and it hadn't been used in a long time, and there was a corn stalk about every 6 feet, but we made it work and impressed the teachers, and it just got better and better, and pretty soon we were reaching learners of all ages, including winter visitors that came into Imperial Valley and Yuma over in Arizona.
Wow.
Fun program, and it's going strong today.
So tell us some of the Farm Smart activities that you use on y'all's farm.
Okay, so what happened, I retired in 2013, and I thought I was a retired person, and my son encouraged me to start farm tours. So I did, and I believe in popcorn, fiddles, and hay rides. And so I know it's kind of an interesting. And so I'm a fiddler. And so the history of music dates back to, a long time ago with agriculture, because the farmers would have hoedowns. And so we have a little hoedown, and they always get popcorn that's been popped in cottonseed oil. And then we have activities for kids that change about every 15 minutes. They get to make a bracelet, and the beads represent a natural or renewable natural resource. And then they get to build a bug using vanilla wafers, pretzels, and raisins. And then we take them into the field on a hay ride, and they get to plant alfalfa seeds and take them home. And they get to net in a field of bugs or a field of alfalfa for insects. And we identify their bugs for them, and it's a lot of fun. And the kids all like it because it's hands-on. Oh, they get to milk our little cow. She's a wooden cow, and she won't hurt them that way. And they milk her, and then they get alfalfa is pudding in the making. So they get some chocolate pudding after they milk her. And then on the adult programs, I have a PowerPoint program, an indoor presentation. And then I take them out and show them our equipment and how it works. And then from there, they get on the hay wagon and we go out in the field. And if we have cotton available, they'll stop and pick it. And we have lots of good handouts afterwards.
So is it all ages or just young people?
Well, we have two different programs. One's for youth and one's for adult learners. And so schools sign up with us, and we can handle about 60 to 80 at a time. So it's usually a grade level that will sign up with us. And we get them as far as Scottsdale and Phoenix, Casa Grande, Tucson. So we get them from all over. Then the winter visitors come from all over the United States and Canada. And so when we offer programs for them, and they usually fill up pretty fast. And last year we saw about 2,000.
Okay, so if someone's out there listening, they'd love to come and see your farm, how do they find you?
Well, you can look online and find us at caywoodfarms.com, or you can call me. The phone number is on the website.
Okay, I'm sure you'll probably get some phone calls.
I hope so. We love to do the programs. We had kids out there yesterday, and it was 110 degrees, but they were troopers, and we had them for 2.5 hours.
So when I hear 110 degrees, I think about my son who was in Iraq during the war. He was there for 18 straight months and flew 119 combat missions as a Black Hawk pilot. And he called home one day, and I said, "Son, I heard it was hot out there today." And he said, "It was 136 degrees." And I said, "Yeah, but that's a dry heat, isn't it, son?" He says, "Daddy," I said, "it was 136 degrees. Dry or wet, that's hot."
When I was in El Centro, we hit 127 one day, and Wow. It was hot.
Yeah. So every time I hear somebody talking about a temperature being that high, I think about my son when he was at war in Iraq. So
thank you for his service.
Well, thank you. So agritourism is such a vital piece of what a lot of our farmers do. And really and truly, I want to thank you, because the farmers in the farms that decide to do that, they're telling the story for all of us. And it is a necessary thing that we do, because some people are so removed from the production of their food system. It gives us an opportunity to you can call it education or informing them as to where their food comes from. And there's no better place to do it than children, because they seem to really, really appreciate it and enjoy it. And I'm sure people do enjoy that when they come there. So I understand that your farm has a mission. Can you reflect on that mission a little bit?
Yes, well, first of all, we grow alfalfa and cotton, so we're commercial growers. But we decided to diversify with the farm tours and needed to come up with a good mission. So it's to nurture an awareness about natural and renewable natural resources, including agriculture, so they can be conserved, managed, and available for future generations.
That's awesome. And you know, as I travel the country and talk to farmers, they may not have a written mission, but they all have those goals in the back of their mind. And I know sometimes we get a bad rap, but I tell you what, that the huge percent of our farmers are out there doing the right thing, taking care of their natural resources, taking care of the animals in a way that is very humane. And a lot of people just don't really understand that, and they don't get a chance to understand it until they come and see it. So thank you. So 4th of July is coming, and will there be activities on your farm for agritourism during 4th of July, or you plan on doing something with your family separately?
We'll be having a family barbecue out at the farm. My son is a paramedic and a battalion chief down in Eloy, and so we'll probably go down there and watch the fireworks and have some good food. Actually, in the summertime, we kind of shut down unless we have special requests because it is so hot out there.
Yeah.
And we'll start up hopefully very active in about September, October, and then we usually run through about May. But if somebody calls me, I will always do a farm tour if I'm available. Got to educate.
Well, thank you, Nancy. And my family and I are going to get together. I think if I can pull it, I think I'm going to be able to pull it off, having all 4 of my children and all my grandchildren there at one time. And hopefully we'll get a picture, because that's getting harder and harder to do the bigger the family gets. And we look forward to having some good food, and probably going to have to get wet somewhere because it's going to be hot in Georgia too. So
yeah, we'll probably be getting wet also. Yeah, my son, he smokes meat and it is so good. So we'll look forward to that on the 4th.
And we hope that all people that are listening spend some time with their family, do the 4th of July, and remember what that holiday really about, this great country that we live in. And people like Nancy Caywood here and her family, they are the perfect example of the salt of the earth that not only takes care of our natural resources and everything around their farm, but provides food and fiber and fuel for all of our people in America and in a lot of the world. And we just hope that everybody realizes that it just doesn't show up in the grocery store. There's a lot of hands and a lot of hard work to get it there. And not just farmers, but a lot of people along that supply chain that we have learned that is so critical to our just-in-time delivery system here in America. And we look forward to working out some of those kinks that we've had in that supply chain and getting back to normal after this pandemic. And we hope all of you stay well during this holiday season. Nancy, have you got anything else you'd like to share with folks before we sign off?
Sure. I always tell people that agriculture is freedom and food safety. And there's so many people that are 5th and 6th generation removed from the farms. And that's why we enjoy doing farm tours, Chamber of Commerce mixers, bus tours, pre-conference tours. We want to get them on the farm and show them what goes into producing food and fiber for our nation. And hopefully they'll appreciate the farmer.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for what you and your family do. Thank you for what you've done during your career and continue to do to inform and educate the general public about what American agriculture and the farm families are really about here in America. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, and I sure appreciate Farm Bureau. They've sure done a lot for us with our tours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Farmside Chat. Please be sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, take a minute to rate and review the podcast.
This helps us continue to bring you farm fresh content that everyone can enjoy. Until next time, thank you and God bless you.